Hello, it's Michelle with Books Cause Insomnia. Welcome back to my channel. Marty says welcome back as well, in case you heard him down there. He's down here again. And I put his little cat tree right here, so hopefully he'll get up there sometime during this video. Right now he's laying on my feet. Today I'm going to be doing the Thrilling Thriller book tag. My friend AJ tagged me in this, and I will put a link to their channel down in the description box, as well as a link to Nicole at Beautiful Chaos of Books. Nicole is the creator of this tag. Number 1, what was the last thriller you bought? The last one I remember buying was Enduring Love by McEwan. I don't have my copy here with me. I lent it to my husband, so I think it's in his backpack, but I'll put a picture of it up here. Show us the thriller you most recently added to your TBR. I just put One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on my TBR for July, and I never thought of this as a thriller, but it's my July read for Thrill a Month book club. So apparently it is a thriller, or something about it is somewhat thriller-ish. Maybe it's kind of like Girl Interrupted, where someone that doesn't want to be in a psych ward is in a psych ward. Although I don't think most people that were in psych wards when they used to be around for long-term patients, I don't really think anyone wanted to be there for the most part. I mean, I know they're still around, but they're not as common as they used to be. What thriller did you have high expectations for, but ultimately let you down? I don't have my copy of this anymore. I did end up donating it. Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Baart. Part of what really disappointed me about this book was it did not read to me like a thriller. It read like a YA family drama. But on top of it, it just disappointed me in so many ways. I will link the video where I did my review of that book down in the description box in case you want to hear why I didn't like it. Number 4, what tropes do you love and hate in thriller books? I really like going home tropes. There's something very creepy to me about having to go home. Because I think most of us, if we moved away from our hometown or where we grew up, it probably means we don't want to be there for some reason. And usually in a thriller, someone has to go back for some reason that is disturbing in some way, shape, or form. And so it starts out feeling kind of creepy and tense anyway, and it definitely builds from there for me. And I love that trope. Another one that I really love is when somebody finds out their spouse isn't who they think they are. I don't know what could possibly be more creepy than that. To find out that all these years you've been sleeping next to somebody that isn't at all who you thought they were. Something else I really enjoy that a lot of people might not agree with, I love unreliable narrators. It keeps me on my feet. It keeps me guessing. And I don't know if you consider this a trope or not, but I do kind of like unlikable characters. As long as they are unlikable in some kind of a good way, if that makes sense, an intriguing way. Thank you, honey. Yes. My husband's behind the bookshelf in his office. He said, like Walter White. Yeah, where he's doing something bad, but he's so likable you can't help but root for the guy. Tropes that I don't like are memory loss. I think it's very overused. And I mean, yes, I will continue to read books where memory loss occurs occasionally, but I don't really know that it's that common. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, But I have to say, I don't know that I've ever personally known anyone who actually had amnesia. Woke up just having no idea who they are, right? Like, it's a scary thought, but is it that common? But in books, it's a daily occurrence in every neighborhood across the world. It just seems kind of overused. Sometimes I don't like the way women are portrayed in books, as far as the woman is always this pretty rookie with her hair in a ponytail, just chasing after the male boss who knows it all and is in charge. That kind of irritates me. Or women who sleep their way into their job, or sleep their way to the top, that kind of thing. At this day and age, can women still not use their brains to get where they're going, right? Or their talent? It just kind of, I feel like it pushes us back a little too far. Also, we only have until this moment to figure something out, to solve this, to change this. I don't know that that's very realistic. In real life, unless you're at work, how often are there really deadlines? And even if there are deadlines, when they don't get met, does the world end? Number 5, recommend an underrated thriller. I've got one right here. Mother May I by Jocelyn Jackson. I thought this book was very good. It was a 5-star read for me. This one has to do with a woman whose child gets abducted. Not by a jealous woman who can't have kids, but by what she thinks is a old witch. And that's all I'm going to say, because I think sometimes books are better when you don't know what they're about, and I would say this is one of them. This book is a real edge of your seat kind of book. One thing I noticed reading the reviews of other people is you do need to be aware that you're going to have to suspend your disbelief if you're going to read this book. There are some things that don't really feel realistic in here. And I feel like it's kind of written in the way that a fairy tale might be written. Some things are a little bit exaggerated, and some things feel like they're being written in a way to get different messages across to the reader. So I think if you go into it knowing that and thinking of it that way, it'll be a lot more beautiful and poetic to you. But I thought it was a really good book. Number 6, pick 3 thrillers from your shelves. 2 you've read and 1 you haven't. Get your viewers to comment which one they think you haven't read. Okay, there's no particular order to these, obviously. I'm just going to put them in the order I think that they would look the prettiest sitting on a shelf. So, we have The Marriage Pact by Michelle Richmond. We have The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. And then we have Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. So which one of these do you think I haven't read? Number 7. People are often intimidated by the thriller genre. Recommend a thriller for beginners. The Push by Ashley Audrain. This is definitely a thriller. In this book, you have Blythe. Blythe is about to be a new mother, and she's so excited about it. And she has her baby, and it's just not what she thought it was going to be. And I wondered while reading this, does that happen more often than I know about? Because if it did happen, would women admit that? Probably not, right? Like, it's a creepy thought. She has these feelings that there's something not right about her daughter. And so she's not questioning whether or not there's something wrong with her. Or her connection, or her ability to connect. She thinks there's something wrong with the baby. Something maybe demonic or something. And so then she ends up having another baby. And her husband's like, "You're crazy. Would you stop it?" And so she's thinking, okay, it's all in my head. you know, and then she has another baby. And this baby, she does not feel that way about. This baby is perfect and lovely and wonderful and everything that you hear motherhood is like. And I just don't want to spoil anything for you. But I think this book is just the perfect book for somebody who is not familiar with thrillers and not sure if they want to read thrillers, whether you have kids or you don't, whether you like kids or you don't, read this book. Some people might think, oh, I'm not really a kid or baby person. No, really though. Just read it anyway. I mean, I don't have kids. I'm not obviously not like one of those mommy and me kind of people, but I'm telling you, this is a good book. And I think it's a good starter book for people who aren't real familiar with thrillers. There are times where it feels a little bit slow, but stick with it because there's a huge twist towards the end that will knock your socks right off. Number 8, what is your all-time favorite thriller? Okay. This is a difficult one for me to answer. I've thought about this. And I can't give you an answer. And the reason is there's an author that has these books that mean so much to me. I can't tell you which one is my favorite. So I'm going to tell you my favorite thriller author. So I've got her books back here, and let's see here. I guess the best way to do it is to just take them down, huh? I've got so many things around these books, it's kind of hard to take stuff out sometimes. Okay. Okay, so her name is Megan Collins. I discovered her through Book of the Month, and it's funny because I got her book, and I didn't, the first book of hers that I read, and I didn't read it for, I think, a year. And I kept thinking, well, The Winter Sister, I better wait until December or something to read it. So I waited a whole year to read it. And, didn't I? February 2019? Yeah, And I loved it so much. So the first one is The Winter Sister. I loved it so much that I immediately got her next book, which is Behind the Red Door. And then her latest book is The Family Plot. One thing I discovered looking at the reviews of Megan Collins' books is that a lot of people will say that her books are very dark and disturbing and chilling and haunting. Now, right, you're reading thriller books. Isn't that what you're looking for? I'm very confused by that being a negative critique on a thriller book. But I digress. What did you see that just break behind me? Well, that was weird. I guess the candle in it leaned or something and it just broke. Oh, that was creepy, wasn't it? Well, I'm lucky that didn't hit me. Wow. Okay, I'm not bleeding, right? Okay, good. What was I saying? I don't even know. Okay, so anyway, I want thriller books to give me the chills. If I wanted warm and fuzzy, I would read a different genre. But I have PTSD, right? I think I've mentioned that before. It's called like CPTSD. It's probably going to last my whole life. And one of the odd things, I guess you would say it was odd, about people with PTSD is sometimes they find horror or a thriller or scary things comforting. And I am not an exception to that. I find them very comforting. And so I find the haunting chilliness of these books very comforting. But Megan's writing is very beautiful and very comforting and very cathartic. And I find her writing to be very healing. And I get something out of each of her books. There's a message that I get out of each of her books. And I find myself underlining passages. And in my book journal, there's all these different passages that I write in my book journal from each of the books. And I plan on rereading each of these books over and over again. And so no, you can't have a copy. If you want my copy, you can't borrow it and I won't let you have it. It's mine. These are mine. I love them so much. So her books really mean a lot to me and I genuinely love them. And that's why I can't tell you my favorite thriller book. I can tell you my favorite thriller author though. But because her books mean so much and I find her to be so healing, I just can't tell you a favorite one. And then the next one is number 9, Tag Some Fellow Thriller Lovers. The only person I know that loves thrillers as much as me is the person that tagged me. So if you're watching and you love thrillers, go ahead and do this video or do this tag as well. And if you do it, just let me know that you did it so I can go watch and hear your answers because I love watching tag videos. If you don't have a channel and you want to answer any of these questions, please answer them down in the comments. I'd love to hear your answers to any of these questions as well. And if you're as freaked out by the candle holder just shattering behind me while I was filming, let me know that too, because I'm kind of shook a little bit by that. That was so weird. Is there a ghost in here? What was that? Like, that was kind of weird, right? Like, it was a little weird too that I was expressing such irritation when it happened. I'm not saying I'm strong enough to shatter glass or anything because I'm not. I can't do that. I'm not powerful like that. I almost felt like a warmth back here though. Like, is there a ghost in here or something? Did you see something behind me? That was so weird. But I guess talking about thriller videos but I guess talking about thriller books is a good time for something like that to happen if it's going to happen. Oh, that was weird. Very creepy. Honey? I was going to ask Brad if he heard it, but he's not. He must be upstairs. Oh my gosh, that was weird. Anyway. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Happy reading. Bye.